Welcome to Roofing Road Trips, the podcast that takes you on a thrilling journey across the world of roofing. From fascinating interviews with roofing experts to on-the-road adventures, we'll uncover the stories, innovations, and challenges that shape the rooftops over our heads. So fasten your seatbelts and join us as we embark on this exciting roofing road trip. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Roofers Coffee Shop Roofing Road Trips. My name is Megan Ellsworth, and I'm your host today. And I'm so excited because I'm talking about metal roofs with S-5, and I'm here with Jesse. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Yay, I'm so good. I would love it if you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role at S-5 and a little bit about the company as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Jesse Winternitz. I live here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where S5's corporate headquarters is. I more or less grew up here, went to school here, got my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. I started S5 in February of 2018, worked for R&D for a couple of years, transitioned into a technical sales role. And for the last couple of years, I've been our application engineering and product support manager. So I get to work with a really great team of application engineers, a few domestically, a few internationally, and really just get to have the best of both worlds, working on the sales side of things, working with my R&D department, and the engineering side as well, helping people to design their projects. So, that's the 1,000-foot view of what I do here.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And it's cool that you've kind of, worked your way through the company and have been able to see all sorts of different aspects of what S5 does.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see like both sides of the coin get to grow in the company as well and get to see it change over the years. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. So could you kind of provide an overview of what S5 creates and its role in the roofing industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So S5 is started by Rob Haddock, who invented the technology for attaching to standing seam metal roofing over 30 years ago. Since then, the company's expanded into attachments for different kind of standing seam metal roofs, as well as exposed fastened metal roofs. And with that, our product lines and a couple of specific applications that people commonly want to put on the roof, namely snow retention, utility, as well as direct attached solar. So we pride ourselves on being the leader in that, roof attachment, aspect of the industry, domestically, internationally, working with some great partners for applications that are outside of our little niches. Still getting to provide great products and testing and services for really anything you want to attach to a roof.
That's cool. Okay, I have a weird follow-up question. Where's like the coolest country or farthest country that S5 has materials on roofs?
Oh man, I think um we're up to something like 80 different countries that we know our
Wow.
panels have been installed in, probably more than that. So there's really kind of everywhere. I know there's been a few projects I've heard about in like Africa or the Middle East where I'm like, oh, I don't even know what that country is. So
Yeah.
that's those are the cool ones to really hear about and to really get to see how far that outreach goes. But it's been really cool to learn more about those little markets which are still not even really developed yet, I'd say, but little pockets of Asia and like Africa. That's probably the most unique.
Yeah. It's also cool too that like there are places in Africa that need snow retention or need, those mechanically attached systems. So that's super cool to think about. So you guys have you all have calculators that help contractors in their day-to-day operations. How does that work?
Yeah. So S5, what the most important thing I always like to tell people is we're a customer facing company. So, you don't even need to know how to use the calculators necessarily. We're here to help you, to train you, and to make them useful tools for anyone, whether you're a contractor, a homeowner, architect, an engineer, so on and so forth. That said, for a couple of our most common applications, we have really intensive or uh, thorough tools that you can use to design your entire projects. So for snow retention and our PV kit systems, they're written to building code. They utilize our testing, and we're here to help you use them. So um, those calculators, if you don't know where to start on a project, you can jump right into them, enter some information about your roofs. What kind of roof do you have? The dimensions of your roof, the slope of your roof, your application. And it can really get you a good visual and a good idea and a report on what you need. And it's not just made up or anything. It's based on our testing, which is all certified. I could give you a 30-minute spiel on that alone. But then also building code. So here in the US, obviously ASC 716.
Got it. Got it. Well, that's really cool. What are some specific ways you've seen contractors use the calculator to like simplify the installation process?
Um, it's it's a I would say the best way it simplifies the installation process is by getting a really good visual. If you run our PV kit calculator, it'll show you the roof, it'll show you where the solar panels are on the roof, it'll show you how many attachments are needed on different panels. One panel might need an additional attachment if it's in a higher wind zone on the roof as opposed to a panel in the middle of your array. And by having that visual and being able to use that visual to show your customer and sell them on the project, I think that's probably the best way to really help simplify things. And it really can, you might have a customer come back and say, well, why do I need X amount of attachments? Well, now you have a report that shows you exactly why. It shows you the testing, the factors of safety that go into it, the forces that each attachment has to account for. And so it can really be a nice way to simplify the sales process as well by giving you that extra tool.
Yeah, absolutely. So from load calculation and mounting systems, how does that work with the calculators?
So S-5 has hundreds of different tests. Our testing is not just specific to the S-5 product being used, but also the metal roof. So that's specific to the manufacturer, the profile, the material thickness, and we test in different test orientations as well. So our calculators are good about um, pulling those tests and incorporating them into the calculation without you needing to do anything at all. So, you might have a project on this kind of roof and you might not even know what S5 product you need to use. But just by, selecting the kind of roof you have, and we're here to help you if you're not sure, we can give you the accurate information that you need, or it's just really in the calculator already, but the proper information is used to design around the loads on your project, because you might need a higher frequency of attachment if you're obviously at a 200 mile per hour wind zone or a 150 psf snow load area. So just a couple of vague examples there.
Can you share an example of a project where the calculator really helped a contractor and made a significant impact on like the amount of people that needed to be on the roof, the amount of materials that were ordered, and all that jazz?
Yeah, it's actually good timing because I have one that I was just working on the other week with the contractor and the architects that I thought was really interesting. So the architects and the contractor had just taken over this project. It had already been being worked on by a prior architect. They'd actually already been working with one of our distributors to have calculations ran through one of our calculators. But they called me and they're like, I'm seeing some discrepancies here. Can you help me? Can you help speak to this? And what had happened was the prior architect had, these were relatively large roofs, commercial grade roofs, but low pitch as well in I would say a medium snow load area. And the architect who'd originally been working on it had specified like 3, 4, 5 rows of our color guard product on each roof, which, it's not, I wouldn't say that's uncommon, but it definitely needs to be a unique scenario to need that much, right? It needs to be a very high snow load, usually on a steep pitch on a very large roof. But the calculations that have been run from our calculators through one of our distributors had come back and shown that I think only the largest roof needed 2 rows. Most of them only needed 1. And so this new architect and contractor were able to contact me and ask me about that. Like, why is this discrepancy? Why the discrepancy? Am I taking a shortcut by going with this calculation? Did the architect prior know something that we didn't know? And by looking at those calculations and seeing and looking at the values, verifying the testing, I was able to ease these gentlemen's minds that they could go with this reduced design and they're not taking any shortcuts with all the same factors of safety. And by doing that, they were able to cut the budget that they had been thinking they were going to need to do for the snow retention significantly. It was like a fifth of the material and a significant cut in labor as well. So they were very happy to hear that. And that's one of the great things about having those reports is, it's not just something signed by me saying you only need one row, but all the math is there, all the physics behind it. So even if there's a disagreement, and they could have opted to go with more snow retention there if they wanted to, no harm, no foul. But they were also able to look at this and, sleep easy at night knowing they had a good design that was, engineered and everything, and save some money based on what the customer was expecting prior.
Yeah, and time. That's huge. And it's so great to work with a manufacturer that is willing to kind of take that time to put that all together for their customer, their contractor that they're working with. So, for contractors that may be hesitant to adopt some of these new digital tools, like how do they get started with the calculators and is there a steep learning curve? Is there support available?
Yes. So there is support available. That's like really the bottom line for anyone who doesn't feel like they're literate in either building code or calculators. Reach out to us. We can help you over the phone, over a Zoom call, just over email, and help you design a system which is good for your project. But if you are wanting or willing to use the calculators yourself, we have all the tools available to help you learn how to do it. I would say our snow retention calculator especially is very straightforward. The inputs are really just related to what kind of roof do you have, roof dimensions, roof slope, and snow load. And again, we can help you, even if you want to run the calculation yourself, help you figure out even whatever inputs you don't know. We can help you identify your roof just based on a couple pictures. We can help you find a snow load based on resources that you might have available you don't even know yet, or talk to you about if using ground snow load is appropriate for your project if you don't have a roof design snow load on site. I would say the solar code is a little bit more complex just because design requirements for solar in general are more complex, but it's still something that we can talk most people through, even if they're relatively new to solar. So we're here to help you out. And we also have resources on our website, whether it's blogs, FAQs, even YouTube videos walking through all the process. So if you're a DIYer who doesn't want to pick up the phone, that's fine. We try to help you out as much as we can there too.
Yeah, that's great. So beyond calculators, what education or technical resources does S-5 provide to help your customers, contractors succeed?
Mm-hmm. A lot. Yeah, I would shout out, our blogs and our YouTube channel first. We have a lot of educational stuff that you can go check out, from how to design your system to verifying what kind of testing manufacturing certifications we have, so you can make yourself feel comfortable about what we have available and the testing that we do. But we also are more than willing to help. Me and my team will do trainings with just about anyone who can ask. We'll do Zoom trainings, whether it's related to the design, whether it's prepping you for the install, whether it's reviewing your install. And, if you want to show us pictures and make sure that everything looks really good. For larger projects or for, different, contractors who might be looking to get into this more regularly, we offer in-person trainings as well. We definitely want to get in front of our customers, get good feedback. We'll get on roofs with customers. If it's your first time installing PV kit, especially, we definitely want to work closely with you. We'll help you design your string design. We could schedule a time to even have one of my application engineers on site and make sure that everything goes well. So we have 3 different application engineers in the US, one in Canada, Mexico, Spain, Australia. So we're spread around a little bit, and we want to have that on roof experience with you, and we want you to have a great first experience using S-5.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd kind of love to throw in an extra question here. How do you see like digital tools like calculators starting to shape the future of metal roofing and installations? Do you see this kind of being the new thing that we use moving forward?
I think it already is the current thing. I think, to be to play with the top dogs when it relates to solar racking, you need to have online resources available. People want to design their own projects, and having calculators where you can put in the kind of roofing you have, put in the solar panels you're using, the site conditions, so on and so forth, and for it to give you a good report showing giving you a plan of attack, something you can show your customer, and ultimately something you can show your county if you are needing to get, an AHJ sign off. That's something which I think is, uh, I don't want to talk down on it, but at this point, it's kind of bare minimum. So constantly improving on that, being able to support it, is something that we certainly pride ourselves on. We've had our snow retention calculator, or at least a form of it, probably for close to 15 years now, and we've made it so it's much easier to use, faster to use, simpler to use. And S-5 is more than happy to help you use it. Our distributors can help you use it, but we also want to make it easy enough to use that even if you're not in the industry, you can use it. And I would say contractors certainly will have a good time using it, and I think it is going to solve their process. And you might be surprised at how it helps you. You might take 10 minutes to run that calculation, but then you have something to show your customer, show the design isn't just a napkin calculation. There's science behind it. If you do need it to show in the future as to why you purchased what you did, or justify the cost, or anything like that, you have that now at your fingertips, and you have it forever. So, if you ever need to talk to S-5 with the project in the future, you can reference this calculation, and it just gives you another resource.
Absolutely. And I would love to also ask, where do you see this technology? How do you see it growing and evolving? And what do you think is kind of the next step after this in terms of innovation for metal roofing?
For calculators themselves, or more for like S-5 and the attachments?
I would say maybe a little bit of both, the calculators themselves and what's coming next from S-5.
Yeah. I mean, calculations, I mean, I know that we have multiple people who work full time as far as improving the calculations. There's new building codes coming out. We're constantly doing more testing and adding that testing to our calculators. With our own racking system, we want to make the calculators even easier to use. How do we put, how do I say it? How do we add more features to it without making it more difficult to use, to let people feel more comfortable about using PB Kit, whether it's for the first time or using it again and designing a new project. Even if you're someone who's not going to use PB Kit on every project, let's make this calculator easy enough for you to use, that you can see an apples to apples comparison on cost for every project. And that way you can make an educated decision, so that, bias aside, hopefully you use PB Kit on a good portion of your projects when it does make sense for you to do so. And for the industry, it's exciting for me, and it's exciting for S-5 to see the growth of the solar industries has gone through over the last 5 years, and hopefully will continue to do so, while the metal roofing industry continues to grow as it continues to emerge, as as a green option, a more and more cost-effective option as prices continue to come down. And with the boom of both industries, we're really in a unique and fun niche in the market to see it all come together. So as the metal roofing continues to innovate, we continue to innovate our products, so that when a manufacturer comes to us, this happens multiple times a year, that we're coming out with this roof, and we want you to work with us to design a clamp for it, or a roof attachment for it, so that when we hit the market and people start asking us day one about how do I attach anything to your new roof, they can point to us. And a lot of these these manufacturers, I should say, are distributors of ours, so they're able to say, I have this product for you, and have that resource available right away. So we always want to do it better, to create stronger products, and also products that are just better for certain applications. So
I completely agree. I love how S-5 is constantly innovating, and you can just tell just by the sheer amount of new specs you guys come out with, new initiatives, and new attachment systems that come out. It's just really fun to watch as someone on the outside. So if contractors take one thing away from the podcast today, what should it be?
What I always tell people is just don't be afraid of metal roofing. Metal roofing, standing seams especially, can be a little bit daunting if you've only done installs, with shingles up to this point. But let us be the experts that help you. We have people reach out to us quite a bit who maybe have used our exposed fasten products when our standing seam, or maybe they've used similar products on shingle roofs, and they don't know where to start. We'll tell you. We'll have phone calls with you. We'll have Zoom calls with you. And with just a couple of pictures, we can let you know what kind of roof you have. We'll send you samples of the product that we think is going to fit your roof, or we know is going to fit your roof, so you can test it out to see how it feels. And whether you, for like a solar project, whether you use PV kit or not, we can help supply you what you need to act as an expert, as a metal roof attachment a contractor, a company, or someone. We'll give you the resources you need to speak confidently. And when people ask you for test reports or why are you doing it this way, we have those answers that you can learn quickly, and hopefully carry this knowledge further, and have more jobs that you can bid on, or win and do over the coming time.
Absolutely. Well, Jesse, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Everyone can go to the S-5 directory on RoofersCoffeeShop.com to learn more. But really quick, what is your website, and where can people kind of look at the products and learn more about the calculators?
Mm-hmm. So our website is just s-5.com. Straight from there, you can get into our calculators, contact our support team, all that good stuff. There's a configurator tool. There's a resource center with lots of drawings and images. The website's really great. You'll see a lot of things right at your fingertips. And if you want to talk to us, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email us directly at support@s-5.com, and we'll be in contact with you right away to talk about really anything you want to talk about metal roofing attachment related.
That's awesome. Yay. Everyone, please reach out to them if you have questions. And also you can go to their directory on RoofersCoffeeShop.com. And you can also listen to all their other podcasts and webinars and interviews they've done with us, because we love chatting with S-5. So I hope to see you at IRE, Jesse, or some other industry events. And everyone out there, thank you for listening. And we'll see you next time on the next roofing road trip. If you've enjoyed the ride, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us on every roofing adventure. Make sure to visit RoofersCoffeeShop.com to learn more. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next roofing road trip.